Hey everyone, it's Ivan with kitbadger.com, out here today to tell you about the 2023 Midnight Brutality Match. If you're unfamiliar with the Brutality matches, they're pretty fun. I've competed in a couple in the past, the Desert Brutality, and they're kind of a tactical games light with respect to there's usually some sort of physical output that you need to do, and then shooting. But versus that, way more hinged on honestly just coming out and having fun. You can pretty much roll off your couch and go shoot the brutality matches. I'm not saying you're going to win it, but the barrier for entry with respect to physicality is pretty low. And altogether just a fun time, usually broken up along different division lines, and this one the same, but in Midnight Brutality taking place at night. And so 3 different divisions, technically 4. I think no one really signed up for the one, but basically the light fighter division where you're using a white light on your gun and no other means of illumination or assistance, so you can't use night vision or anything like that. But then there's also a night fighter, which that one was pretty crazy in that you're just shooting passive, so you're using night vision and just aiming through your day optic turned all the way down to whatever night settings, and using any ambient that happened to be there. More on that later. And then the other division, which was infantry. So using night vision as well as IR illumination and IR lasers. And your optic, of course, if you want to, but no white light, all infrared, and you can project energy. So it's actually a really amazing competition. Took place over in West Virginia, just across the Virginia border at Echo Valley Training Center. Pretty cool shooting facility, and a big help was by one Shepherd, who essentially did kind of all the RSO stuff, shepherded all the different teams or squads, I guess, through the different matches, and pretty cool. They definitely did a good job running a safe match because it's dark, a lot of moving pieces, can't have people wandering around. But overall, really cool competition put on in part by InRange TV as well as Forgotten Weapons. And this, unlike some of the other competitions, was kind of front loaded, so that rather than waiting till 4 in the morning or Sunday morning when everyone had finished shooting through Friday and Saturday during the main days of the match or nights of the match, rather than having an award ceremony and stuff, then it was broken into 2 days. People that came on that first day, people that came on the second day, and at the beginning went through all kind of the normal stuff. Introductions, safety brief, all those things, and then prize table. So once everyone had registered for whatever division and stuff like that, got through all the administrative stuff, prize table. And something I really appreciate about pretty much all the brutality matches is the prize table is done by lottery. Some matches you go to, you know who's going to win, the people wearing jerseys, because they're professional shooters and they're going to go pretty much clean the prize table, get all those nice expensive things, turn around and sell them because they're already sponsored. So who cares? Kind of a bummer if you're the layman that's hey man, I just want to go have fun, go shoot in a competition. So something I appreciate about the brutality matches is it's a lottery. Doesn't matter what place you come in. So people got to go get some pretty amazing prizes. One of the sponsors of the event was Q. They came through in a big way. I want to say between both days, basically duplicates of Honey Badger and Trash Panda, as well as duplicates of every single one of their silencers that they make. So yeah, people got hooked up big time. Also B.E. Myers, people got a Mall or Kiji, and TNVC also donated a bunch of stuff, and Varushtalika, Finnish company, cool guys over there. I actually got drawn second for that prize table, so everything was pretty much still there. I'm not going to do anyone dirty. I went in there and actually saw a pretty cool backpack, picked it up by Varushtalika, actually used it during the competition, pretty handy, and I like snow camo, so worked out perfect. But after all that stuff got taken care of, it was time to get after it and hike down, get ready to start shooting. The match consisted of 6 different stages, and you would essentially start somewhere and then rotate through based on whatever number. So By way of example, that first night, I was actually shooting a light fighter. So I was shooting my minifix with a Surefire Turbo scout light on there and had an ACOG on there with a little RMR. Really fun setup. But we started on stage 4, and then after that, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then we'd shot all 6. But that first stage was pretty cool. And all of the stages were designed on some level to basically test you in your gear. So that first one, you actually had to move this landmine to these other landmines, flip over the landmines, and then depending on whatever division you were in, use whatever you had available to you. So shooting in a white light, I could use pretty much any type of white light to illuminate. There was lettering on the bottom, and it would say closest, middleest, or furthest. So you read it, identify whatever target you're shooting at, tell the RO, hey, this is the one I'm shooting, and shoot until you get your hit. Move to the next group, and basically just work kind of back and forth there, reading whichever one you're supposed to be shooting, and getting a good hit. And yeah, it was a pretty fun stage. I regrettably, I'm pretty sure, ended up timing out on it. Some of the things that plagued me on that stage and pretty much every other stage that night, shooting my minifix, was basically feeding issues, combination of ammo and then feed lib geometry because of the magazines I was using, but whatever. From there, moved over to shoot stage 5. Unfortunately, stage 5 blew down, so then we went and shot stage 6 and had some fun there. There, definitely, again, reaching out. Initially from kind of going through basically a little O course, not climbing over anything, climbing up on top of stuff eventually, but it was pretty fun. And looking down, getting a good hit on one of the targets, moving over, engaging all the other targets, and then finally moving to essentially these pits and engaging all the targets from there. Really fun course of fire, and definitely grateful for that Surefire Turbo just to illuminate as much as it could so that I could actually make those hits at distance.
Left middle, left middle. Hit. 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 Same thing in the next hole. One. Nice.
We did eventually get to shoot stage 5, but it wasn't what it was. It was supposed to be this wall tent where you'd actually go throw a flashbang in there, engage the targets inside, come out, engage these other targets. Tent blew down. Weather did not play well. Basically really windy, also really cold, ended up snowing some by the end of the night and blew everything down. So that stage still threw a flashbang and then basically shot some different steel targets from different positions. It was still fun, but it was not the little shoot house, which would have been a lot more fun. But we ended up hiking up pretty sizable hill to the top, and there ended up back at stage 1. Stage 1 was kind of a VTAC barricade, some wind sprints, and that sums it up. Engaging these targets, these outer targets from this barricade, and then eventually knocking down the target in the center. And then you have to ground your gun, run down, set the target back up, come back, basically same shooting maneuver again, and then run down that last time, set it back up, come back, and then just engage the outside target. So basically the range resets itself, which is handy with respect to setup. How did I do on that? Did pretty good, all things considered, right up to the point that my target fell down. So I had ran back, and I'm like, the middle target's not up. Extra sprint down, set it up, come back. Whatever, it happens.
Did it fall back down? I think it fell back down, didn't it? I can't see it. Did it fall back down? I think it did. It did fall down.
Next, we ended up over at stage 2. Probably one of the more fun stages in that you start in the back of a vehicle. The person who's going to be driving, actually had a Humvee there. The person who's going to drive the Humvee got injured or something that first evening, so they weren't there. We were in the back of a truck. Night 2, we had the Humvee, but ended up basically driving along at a set pace, and you engage targets as you see them. There are essentially 2 targets in each of these bays, or 3 bays, I think. Then from there, essentially hop out, run down, and start engaging some other targets from 3 different positions. Overall, really fun course of fire.
Hit! Hit! Safe the rifle. Hand it to me. Got it. Once it stops, you may exit the vehicle. And I'm going to passenger side. I'll hand you the rifle. Left barrel. Go. If you need light, you can turn it on as you move.
Next was Casada, which pretty much a staple of all of the different competitions, all the brutality matches rather, where you start, shoot, get a good hit, pick up a kettlebell, chuck this thing, go to where it landed, shoot, get a hit, throw it, on and on until you get the kettlebell all the way down and hopefully within the par time. And yeah, see how fast you can shoot it and chuck that kettlebell. It was really dark down there, which didn't really matter. Again, Surefire Turbo, thing did an awesome job, but people that were shooting Night Fighter, they got crushed there. Like there were some people that didn't even get a hit. Like they never hit the target in the, like never moved, never even touched the kettlebell, which is a drag. And I will say that Night Fighter, yeah, like it did not play well with most people. I think there was one person that shot it during the, I guess the like match for all the staff match. That first night, I want to say Thursday night, and he ended up coming in first for time, like across all the divisions. Wildly different competition than everyone else that shot a Night Fighter. Not taking anything from him, like he can obviously shoot, he can obviously move, like for sure. But the next closest time from the people that shot Night Fighter, like the next 2 nights, I think his time was like 500 seconds, and fastest time after that was like 1200 seconds. And then it just got bigger and bigger. Pretty rough night out there. But if you're gonna fly all the way across the country, why not shoot more? So I was actually signed up for 2 different divisions, as I had mentioned. Having shot Light Fighter, I was then gonna shoot the infantry division using all of the modern accoutrement. So definitely had some time to kill, and one of the cool things also about most of the brutality matches is you can camp there. So why not go hang out with good people? I actually met up with a buddy who I had met during the 2022, the Desert Brutality Match, and we camped out there, and this time linked up, camped out again. Had a pretty awesome time out there. Definitely nice, sun came out for a tiny bit, Not enough to be warm, but enough to be like, swimming's probably a good idea. And granted, we really only did it because we had the fire raging, but ended up going down there and hopping into that stream. Felt really cold, but good coming out of it. And then of course went, warmed up by the fire. But after kind of hanging out that day, it was time to go get after it and head back up for another safety brief and run down on the night's match. That second night was a ton of fun. The opportunity to run basically a totally different setup and kind of see everything fresh, now using IR illumination as well as IR laser, and yeah, getting to shoot through all of it. I think that night we started on stage 5 and then went 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome time across the board shooting through all those stages. Way faster without a bolt gun. And something that was really nice is my buddy who I was camping with, we got split up. He was in front of me, but he hooked me up. We had brought our coffee stuff and he had left it for me at one of the stages. So before it was time for me to shoot, got everything going and yeah, had some coffee, which was amazing on a cold night. All said and done, incredible match across the board. Always brings out just fun people, in part because everyone's there for a good time. Like there's no one trying to like rules lawyer it or anything like that to try and get onto the prize table, because prize table is totally random. And there was actually an incredible prize table at this match too, which was really cool, just kind of added bonus for everyone there. But the match itself was a ton of fun. I think it really highlighted honestly a lot of deficiencies in people's gear, because you have all these stages that are set up differently, and really depending on the gear setup you have, you see some glaring deficiencies, whether it's trying to engage stuff at distance with either white light or trying to get illumination to push past, either it's IR or white light in some of the really dark places like the Casada. And yeah, it was just a cool opportunity to go shoot and learn ultimately, and have a good time with good people. All said and done, in the light fighter division, even with those malfunctions, I ended up coming in 6th in that division out of, I think like 35 or something, which honestly I was pretty pleased with. And I think in light fighter I came in like 28th out of like 100 or something. So it is what it is, like it was fun. And then what was actually really cool is shooting in that infantry division with modern equipment. I ended up actually coming in 1st in my division, which that was really cool. And 2nd overall. The guy that beat me by, I think like 26 seconds, 27 seconds, something like that. Basically the time it takes to run from a barricade down, reset a target, and then run back because it fell down, which happened to me twice, basically on both those stages, once each night. You would think I would have learned better, but I didn't.
The popper fell down. All right, ground it. Go set up the popper. You're gonna have to come back and shoot it.
I get it.
But no, there's definitely some good shooters out there, and it was just a great time across the board. Like, it was fun. And the opportunity to shake out gear as well as just meet like-minded people that want to come out and have fun. So cool group across the board, all the ROs, all the staff helping out. Great job out there by honestly everyone. And if you want to check out some of the other footage, there'll be links down below. You can check out some of the other Desert Brutality competitions I shot in, and yeah, just a great time across the board. There'll also be a link down below where you'll be able to go over and see other brutality matches. They have them pretty much throughout the year, all kinds of different environments, whether it's like woodland, I think they have like a cornfield, handgun brutality, all kinds of different stuff. Cool time across the board though. And last but not least, if you appreciate my content and want to support it, greatly appreciate it. One of the ways is supporting me directly, either through Patreon or Utreon, where you get early access to videos, some exclusive stuff, and if you have questions for me, happy to answer them. We have active Discord over there. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.